who don't know me, my name is Dylan Newton. I'm the president for Sunshine State Romance Authors. And it is January, which I thought would be a great month to talk about your roadmap. It's a great month to start to plan your life as a writer and as a person. We're going to talk about goals today. We're going to talk about everything from RWA and what they can do for you as a writer to SSRA, what they can do. We're going to spend a tiny little bit of time on that because I want you to understand your benefits there, because if you're paying to be a member of RWA and SSRA, you should know what you're getting for your money, and I guarantee you some of you guys are not utilizing all the benefits that they have. Even I wasn't. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that they have that you might not be aware of that I would love for you to investigate. And then we're going to get really deep and dirty and personal and talk about your goals. We're going to talk about what you guys are doing, what you guys should be doing, what you guys want to be doing. And we're going to talk about how we can map your road to success in 2014 to be published. For those of you who don't know my backstory, I was unpublished as of 2008 and very depressed about it. I'm an English literature major at heart, but I spent over a decade in corporate America. You don't know because you can see a brochure that I made, which is all my corporate America background coming out in me. But I really wanted to be published by the time I was 40. This is a while, so I'm dating myself. But that was my big goal. I wanted to be published by the time I'm 40. I was an English lit major. I'd never really done anything with my degree. I really wanted to be published. And so I did National Novel Writing Month in November of 2008. Successfully completed that challenge, which is writing 50,000 words in 30 days. It's grueling if you've ever done it. And I actually took that project and finished the novel. Like I succeeded. I wrote that 50,000 words, and then I added about 35,000 more. And my novel was completed in February of 2009. And I submitted that for publication, and I did my query letter, my synopsis, and I did all my research and everything else. Crossed my fingers, was really, really pregnant, had a baby, and I got a contract. So my first novel was actually not that long ago. In 2009, I got my first contract with Wells Roach Press for my first novel, Despite the Ghosts. So within, 9 months, the same months, it took me to get my personal baby birth, I also birthed a novel. So I'm here to tell you, this year, if you are unpublished, you can have a contract by the end of the year. I am living proof of it, okay? So we're going to talk about how you guys can do that. We're also going to talk about all of those of you that are published, what your next step is. Okay, we're going to talk about what your next step is, because we all are in this for our own reasons. We have published authors here, and although we love to give back and we love to pay it forward, and that's the bones of what our organization in Sunshine State Romance Authors is built from, we also want to be here for our own nefarious purposes as well. So I am going to give you guys that are published authors another goal. Now Loretta, I don't know, lady. You got like, I don't know what I'm going to be able to give you, but I'm going to dig deep, and we'll see what we can find for you. Okay. So RWA, SSRA, and you, the roadmap to success in 2014. Here's my agenda. We're going to go over RWA, SSRA, and how they can help you achieve your goals. We're going to talk about your writer's toolbox. You guys all have a writer's toolbox. We talk about sharpening the saw. You guys maybe have ever heard that if you've taken like a Dale Carnegie class or a Franklin Covey class or time management class. You talk about always making your tools sharp. No matter what industry you're in, you always want to make sure you're at the top of your game. Now, Cheryl already talked to you about making sure your technology is at the top of the game. I'm going to talk to you about how you make sure that your tools are at the top of your game as well. I'm going to give you a writer's passport, which I think is absolutely fabulous. I have to say so myself, which is a nice little guide that you can take to chart your direction. I'm a person who likes to give me a map. Show me where I'm going. I'm the person who goes on vacation and needs to plan what I'm going to do, or else I'm miserable. It's okay if I deviate from that plan, but I got to have a plan. I'm going to give you guys a plan. Every single person in here is going to walk away with a plan, okay? How can you create a goal to move your writing career forward? And we're going to create your goals today the right way, my little pun. And we're going to have a little Q&A. All right. RWA, Romance Writers of America. One of the best things I did for my writing career was join Romance Writers of America. Why? Because of their mission. Their mission is to advance the professional interests of career-focused romance writers. Now, I was just dabbling before I joined RWA, and I thought to myself, now Dylan, if you really want to be published and you're really serious about this, you need to show the world that you're serious about this. And I don't know about you guys, but when I open my wallet, I'm serious about what I'm going to do, okay? And you have to open your wallet to be a member of a professional organization, and I did. I opened my wallet, I paid those dues, and I held my breath, and I said, by golly, I better do something now. If I paid those dues, I better make it happen. And that does also tell tell everyone else that you're serious about your career too. So what is RWA? Let's talk about that for a second. It is a nonprofit membership association, which is a 501c6, A, B, C, D, E, L, M, N, O, P. So it is a 501c6 group, which is also nonprofit, based in Houston, Texas, dedicated to advancing the interests of career-focused romance writers. I did highlight that again. These are all my highlights on there for career focus because I wanted to point that out to you. It's more than 30 years old. It is the largest fiction writers association. There's a lot of people in here that are members of more than RWA, right? I know there's some mystery group, and I know your historical.
Oh, the Beaumont.
Beaumont.
RWA chapter though.
And your Florida Historical Novel Society, and you guys are a critique group,
International Thriller Writers.
International Thriller Writers, okay. So, it is the largest fiction writers association. With that might comes a lot of programming, a lot of advocacy, a lot of things that smaller groups, smaller professional organizations cannot give you. So I was really impressed with all of their accolades that they get. It is also home to 145 local and online chapters, of which we are one. So they're very, very big, okay? RWA believes the pursuit of a writing career begins long before your first sale. And it's not just for published authors. Actually, the nidus of what drives RWA is getting everybody from not published to published, right? Because that's the biggest step that everybody takes in their career. RWA does require chapters to be incorporated to protect individual members from liability for chapter debts. So you'll notice when you saw our agenda today that it does say Chapter 225, RWA Chapter 225 Inc., you know, our SSRA Inc. And we do, RWA does provide chapter support, education, and training, and we're going to talk a little bit about that when we get to the passport, because I bet some of you guys don't know all the jewels that are located in the RWA website for members. Again, they do have the online resources, career and conference and networking opportunities. How many people went to an RWA conference and pitched? We got Flossie, I know you did, right? And we've got several people that have pitched at an RWA conference and got their contract through that pitch. Membership to these groups show potential editors and agents that you're serious about your career as a writer. So for those of you that are visitors today or are online visitors today, if you are not currently a member of RWA, I highly encourage you to take a look into it. I'm a big believer that that is one of the reasons that I am where I am today and published where I am today. And you can't be a member of Sunshine State Romance Authors unless you're a member of RWA, because we are a chapter of them. I'm standing right in your way. I'm trying to move out of your way.
No, you're not my way. I'm in your way.
No, you're good. You're good. I was running over you. Okay. We were established in 2011. Flossie Benton Rogers and Loretta Rogers and myself sat around, and there wasn't any alcohol involved, which is amazing. I don't know how I agreed to this. Somehow, we agreed to join begin Sunshine State Romance Authors because there wasn't a community in this area to support writers, and Loretta was the only published one at the time when we began. And she was very passionate that there be something for those of us in this area, and now we're expanding to online members as well. It is only $20 to be a member of Sunshine State Romance Author if you are an RWA member. So if you're already a member of RWA, it's only $20 to be a member of SSRA. You can be a member of more than one chapter at once, so for those of us joining us online, if you are a member of another chapter, you can also be a member of Sunshine State Romance Authors. Our mission is very similar to RWA, and I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but the bulk of it is to help writers become published and establish writing careers through, this is fun, watch, yay, through programs, this is my new toy, programs and workshops. And this should say Writer's Toolbox, but you can't really tell. And also to provide support and networking, because writing can be a very lonely business and depressing. Right? Because you feel like you're out there all by yourself sometimes. So when we come together, as those of you that are visitors today at our meeting noticed, we very much help each other along in the process, no matter where we are. We didn't hear any rejection letters this morning, but we celebrate rejection letters. We talk about where we are in our careers. We give each other motivation to get to that next level, that positive peer pressure that I know those of you that are members, you know I talk a lot about. All right, so let's talk about your writer's toolbox. I want you guys to think a little bit about your inventory in your writer's toolbox. And I'm just going to pass these around. I have, I think, 24 of them. You guys want to pass around, so you're going to have to share them because I think we have 31 people here today. So pass them around. Those of you that don't get one, you'll just have to be really good writers. But we will make it happen for you nonetheless. It is on our website, so you can pull this inventory off our website. But I want you to take a minute. There's some, there's going to be 3, I'm going to pull it up for you, so those of you who don't have it yet. There's going to be 3 questions that I want you guys to take a look at. Okay, we're going to do a self-assessment, which looks like this. It's a tool to prioritize what you need to do for your writing career. And I want you to be honest when you do it and hold yourself accountable. Okay? So we're going to do that in just a second. But before we do that, because we're still passing it around, so this is coming around for you. Before we do that, we are going to, all right. We're going to think about your writing career and all the things that you'd like from both. We're going to answer the questions on the handout in the next 3 minutes, as soon as it comes all the way around. This is what you're going to do to plan your year. I want you to look at your list and think about what tools you need to sharpen this year, what one thing you can schedule right now to improve your writer's tools. Now, before you get there, I'm going to go over this while everything is passing around. So those of you that are joining us online, you're going to want to pull up that document, that writer's self-assessment toolbox document. January through May this year, we have goals today, and in February, we have a crafting a novel boot camp where Loretta is going to take us through plotting, goal, motivation, and conflict, tips to create characters and settings that enhance your book. We're going to feed you. It's going to be great. If you guys haven't registered, you need to do that. It's 5 hours of fabulous information. Then we're going to come back in March. We're going to talk about prodding your muse, so trying to get your creative juices flowing. And then we have a book trailers, branding, blogging, and book marketing seminar in April, which is going to be fantastic. That's this guy. A little bit more information on that later. And we're also going to talk about great dialogue in May. So, Prod Your Muse begins in March for your next novel, and we're going to try to figure out if you guys are going to be ready. So, this is still going around. Your list is still going around. You don't have to write yet. I'm going to give you some time in a second. And I have another extra copy if someone wants one. So let's talk about toolbox. Is your writer's toolbox ever full? Do you ever know everything about writing? Loretta, how many novels do you have? 13. Loretta Rogers is our most published member, and she has 13 novels to date. Do you know everything about writing?
Absolutely not. I'm still learning.
Right, we all are still learning, and Loretta is great to say that, and that shows that she is a really good writer and professional because she does. She learns every day. I learn every day. Everybody learns every day.
Just to show the fact that the majority of RWA members are published, or a big majority are, whatever, shows you that you still don't know it all. You're still, otherwise we would have no published authors in RWA. Once you got your contract and wrote your first book, you'd be out of there, right? But we're still joining up every year.
And Lynn, you're very multi-published. You know it all?
No way.
So it's always good. Your toolbox is never going to be full. I mean, take it from these ladies and other RWA members. Your toolbox is never full. That's really important because I know many of you are still kind of waiting. I'm waiting to write. I'm waiting. I need to fill my toolbox. I don't think I'm ready. Don't think I'm ready. You're ready. Okay? You're ready. Your toolbox is never going to be full. Right? Repeat with me. My toolbox will never be full, and I'm ready to write. Okay? So that's really important because I'm going to talk about filling your toolbox this year, which is important to always do. However, you should not wait till that's done to write. You should be writing now. Okay? The time to write is right now. All right. Let's talk about the freebies. Did you guys know that there are a lot of goodies that you have with RWA that you should be taking advantage of right now? There are free webinars that they offer pretty much monthly on RWA, and they're great webinars. And through Sunshine State Romance Authors, of course, we have free training. This was a free class. We also have a lending library within Sunshine State Romance Authors, which is fantastic. It contains even query letters and synopsises from our members that were published, the actual ones that they used to get their contract, which is worth its weight in gold, I tell you. We also do our Pro B meetings, and Pro B isn't a real title, it's one we make up here. Pro is a title within RWA that we'll talk about in a second, and so is PAN. And these are the meetings for people who want to go to that level, okay? We also, within SSRA, have critique groups and beta readers, which any of you ever used a critique group? Well, I know you guys are all part of a critique group. Critique groups, everyone has critique partners in here pretty much that's a member of our group. And those of you that don't, we will find you one. Invaluable as our beta readers. We also have other workshops and conferences. We have our Crafting a Novel boot camp coming, our big one on book trailers and branding in April. RWA's National Conference is July. And there's also a Reader's Appreciation Luncheon that we're looking at as well. So all of those things should start giving you ideas for what sorts of things on 1 through 3 on your writer's self-assessment toolbox that you should be thinking about. And I'd like to talk about Benjamin Franklin because he's one of the greatest planners there is. If you've ever heard of Franklin Covey, they adopt a lot of Benjamin Franklin's planning methods when they created the Franklin Covey method. But one of his great quotes is, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." If you fail to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Okay? So I don't want you guys to fail. There's no losers in SSRA, okay? There's only winners here, and we are going to prepare you guys so that you can get where you want to go. Well, we're going to make a plan, okay? So we're going to talk about goals, and we're going to do our goals right now. So I want to give you a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. We're going to turn our video off, so those of you that are joining us virtually, you guys can just click pause and rejoin us when you're done. I want you guys to take 3 minutes to fill out the top 3 questions. I want to know, who are your writing heroes, and what about their writing do you want to emulate? This is on the Writer's Toolbox Self-Assessment on the front. So before we do goals, we're going to talk about your self-assessment. So right on the front should be your Writer's Toolbox. So I want to know that. I want to know, what do you feel your writing weaknesses are? This is where you get to be brutal with yourself. We're going to be kind to ourselves in a minute, but I want you to be brutally honest with yourself right now. Then I want you to tell all of us, what is the most important thing to, actually not all of us, just you. What is your most important thing to improve this year and why? Okay, so I want you to think of, when you list in number 2, your writing weaknesses, if you had to look at all of them, what's the one thing that you think you can improve to give you the best shot for success this year? Okay, I know what mine is, and I'll show you my goals in a second. But you need to do the self-assessment before we can do goals, which is why we're not starting with goals. We're doing a self-assessment. And because I've told you all these great things that we have going on in SSRA, I've told you about a lot of other things within RWA, I've given you enough to even make, not even a goal, but just kind of a to-do. On number 4, I want you to think about one thing you could schedule right now to sharpen those tools. Okay, any questions before I let you go for 3 minutes? All right. 3 minutes, time starts now. So how was that as an experience? Eye-opening? Did anyone want to share what their one thing was that they think right now might be their one thing that they could schedule or do to make their writing better this year? Not a goal yet, but just kind of self-assessment. Carol?
I need to do more with the motivation of my character.
Motivation of character, okay, good. So you want something that addresses that. Ronnie?
I seem to spend a lot of time researching and planning and filling up a notebook with ideas instead of starting chapter 1.
That's a very common pitfall that all of us writers get in. And it's just, it's a way to, it's your brain's protecting you from actually taking that step. And sometimes you get in your own way of success. And that's why we're going to talk about goals for a second, and SMART goals, so that you can find a way around those little obstacles, like excessive researching can sometimes be an obstacle that writers fall back on to avoid writing. But yeah, that's a good one. Anna, did you?
Oh, say procrastination. A lot of times I'll complain in my head, oh, I never have time, the kids, my husband, blah, blah, blah. And then my husband literally say, okay, I'm going to be gone for 3 hours, go work on your book. And oh, I gotta vacuum this first. Well, we start doing it. If I don't put this load in the laundry, no one will do it for me. And finally, I made myself sit down and do. But really, scheduling. Since I work from home now, I save 2 hours a day on my commute. I don't have that commute anymore. I have 2 hours that used to belong to the highway. I should be at my desk. So that's my new goal. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
Okay, good. We'll talk about that goals in a second. That's a really good one, though. We're going to come back. We're going to come back to you. Okay, Jennifer.
Mine's similar with both of you. It's getting more done in less time.
Yeah.
You know, efficient use of the time that I have.
Yeah, it's always humbling to me to realize that Helen Keller and Albert Einstein and every other name that you can come up with also only had 24 hours in a day, right? So every time I think, well, my life is just so busy, so is everybody else. So sometimes I have to just take a step back and get over myself and put some goals in place and make them small, make them achievable. So I have that sense of accomplishment so I can keep moving forward, because life does happen and it is hard. And every day you have to recommit to that goal. I'm sorry, yes?
Research is a problem, because I was talking with a woman with a black hat on when we were out, and I'm really interested in this, and I need it for where I'm going with my writing. And I look at that, then I see that I can order 5 books from Interlibrary. And immediately after that, there are 2 other topics that I'm really interested in.
Right, and it's hard because you kind of get in your own way sometimes because you feel like your toolbox isn't full. But I'm telling you, if you guys can wield a pen and you have a piece of paper, your toolbox is as full as it needs to be to write. Okay? Everything else, you will always just grow with it. If you can write, you've taken basic grammar, and you have those basic skills, you are ready to write a book. You are ready right now, everyone here, to write a book. Okay? Do not feel as though you're not ready. It's not true. It's your brain getting in your own way. It's that nasty little editor gal that sits back there. That I have other words for that I won't share with you, but she gets in the way. She gets in the way even when you're published. I'm here to tell you, she's always getting in the way. So you have to figure out a way to circumvent her. We're going to talk about that in a second. Okay, so let's talk about goals. Now that we know what we think our weaknesses are, what we perceive our weaknesses to be, what you can do now, and we also know that the one thing that we can do to improve our writing career, we also have taken a minute of self-assessment to figure that out. We can take that information and actually move forward and create goals for ourselves. Now my goals are going to be different than your goals. Your goals are going to be different, Lynn, than everybody else's goals because you're already published. So they're going to be potentially different. But at the end of the day, you're right. We all kind of have the same desire to move forward, to get better, to be better, to do more with our time. It's the same. I'm sure all of you have the same sorts of things, right, on your paper. So it's the same sorts of things for everyone. So let's talk about that. What is a good goal? Now, you guys have probably seen these before. SMART goals, right? So I'm not going to really belabor this. No? Some of you are shaking your heads no. Okay. Let's talk about goals. Because New Year's resolution those are always a time where everyone creates New Year's resolutions, which is just a fancy term for a goal. Goals are things you create at any time. It doesn't have to be January. For those of us who are joining us virtually, if you're starting in April, that's okay too. A goal, if it's going to be a good goal for you, it has to be a SMART goal. Okay? Lose weight is not a good goal. And I've had that on my goals for, I can't even tell you how long, and it's a bad goal, and I'm going to tell you why for a second. In a second. But, okay. Here's how to make a good goal. One that you actually can achieve, one that motivates you, one that will drive you to success. This is really important. It's an acronym. It's called SMART. So if you look at your piece of paper, I have given you an S-M-A-R-T. I'm a really big believer, and those of you who know me, you know it's like fantastical for me to actually offer handouts because I'm a big believer that to engage your brain, you must engage your ears, your eyes, and your fingers. You have to be visual, audible, and kinesthetic learners out there. We're going to do all of you guys right now, okay? SMART goals. Really easy acronym. S stands for specific. You need, those of you who took any journalism ever, you need to do your 6 W's and H questions. So your who, what, when, where, why, and your H question. Your goal needs to be specific. The more specific the goal, the more likely you are to hit it. So, I gotta tell you, I did this 2 years ago. My goal, remember I told you at the beginning, my goal was to get published before I was 40. Well, I guess it's specific in that I had a deadline by the time I was 40, but it didn't give me any who, what, when, where, why, or how, right? Well, the who was me, right, and the what was get published, but that's very, very vague. That is not a good goal. Get a contract, get published, finish a book even, is not a good goal. It has to be very specific, right down to what I do every single day to get to that goal. It has to be measurable, okay? You have to have concrete deadlines and mile markers. That is so important. Anybody here, I know Cheryl's a runner. Anybody here a runner, ever run a marathon? Half marathon, okay. I'm a marathon runner, not a very fast one. I'm not setting any land speed records anytime soon. But I do run marathons, and let me tell you, every time I see a mile marker, that motivates me to get to the next mile marker. If I stood at the beginning of that race and thought, I have to spend the next 5.5 hours, I told you I was slow, 5.5 hours to run 26 miles, I would never go. That sounds awful, right? Except for the finish line, I knew that was going to be fun. But those 26 miles are not fun. So I had to play games with myself and say, okay, Dylan, because right about mile 18, you don't want to do it anymore. I'm here to tell you, I didn't want to do it. I did not, you could not pay me to do it anymore sometimes. And I've run several, and some marathons are better than others, but right about mile 18, my whole goal is to get to mile 19. My goal is not to get to mile 26, my goal is to get to mile 19. Actually, my goal is sometimes to get to the next water break, When's the next time I'm going to be able to drink? So you have to have mile markers. That's really, really important. So when you guys get a goal, you have to give yourself little times of celebration. So it's not get published, write a book. It's write 1 page. Write to chapter 2. Write this scene. Write my love scene today or this week or whatever it is, okay? You have to give yourself mile markers along the way. And if you guys go to the plotting workshop next month with Loretta, she's going to talk about plotting and things like that. So if you have some plotting done, which you will have done if you go to Loretta's workshop, you'll actually know what your mile markers are in your book, which how fabulous is that to have signs? Hello. Don't get lost along the way, that's a good thing. All right, attainable is the A. What goals are important to you? If you see them as attainable, if you think you can do it, and I'm here to tell you you can. Remember my story? In 9 months, I went from unpublished to published. Every single person in here can be published by the end of the year. It is attainable. You have to know it. You have to feel it. You have to believe that it's attainable for you. You deserve it. Every person in here deserves a contract this year. Every one of you deserves it. You have to believe it for it to be attainable for you. Realistic. Represents something you're willing and able to work toward. That's powerful. Are you willing and able to work toward that contract? Are you willing and able to sit down and apply the butt glue, as Jennifer said earlier, to make sure that you're putting in the time to get to that contract? Okay? Make sure you're willing to do it. If it's really not that important to you, if it's a hobby, if this is a hobby for you and you really don't have that burning desire to be a writer, this is not going to work for you. You gotta want it. T is time-bound or tangible. Your goals have to have an end date. Okay? So lose weight is a horrible goal because it doesn't ever have an end date. Okay? Lose weight is a horrible goal because it's not specific. Sometimes my goals are not attainable. No, I'm just kidding. But time-bound or tangible, it has to have an end date. You can visualize, hear, see, and touch with your senses. Studies show that the more you visualize your goal, the more likely you are to achieve it. Let me give you an example. When I was writing my novel and going through NaNoWriMo and then finishing it up afterwards, my first novel, I was picturing myself on the lawn of it's an old Victorian house in the hometown that I grew up in, Wellsville, and it's called the Pink House. It's an old Victorian. I've always coveted it. And I pictured myself having my book release party there. And I knew what I was wearing. I knew what my hair looked like. I knew my agent was there. I was swanning around with a glass of champagne. I could feel it, you guys. I knew what I wanted. I could see me there. I wanted it so bad. And every time it got rough for me, I would think about that vision, me swanning around on the lawn with the beautiful Victorian behind me, and everyone clapping, and whatever your vision is, picture it. Take a minute. You guys are writers. I know you have the creative ability. Write it down. Or make a collage. Some people like to make collages or do something so you remind yourself of what your goal is. Make yourself feel it. Make it tangible for you, and you are more likely to achieve it. All right. Those of you that know me, I like to keep it simple. So keep it simple, sweetie, is what KISS stands for. And I'm going to give you the KISS way to know if your goals are good goals. Okay? This is how we look. We look, number one, are your goals behavioral? Is the behavior something you can observe? So, I'll go back to lose weight. Is lose weight a behavioral goal? No. Why not?
It's not, you can't measure when it happens?
There you go. All right. Is eat 5 vegetables and fruits a day a behavioral goal that I could apply to that?
Yeah.
Yes. Right? That's what my goal is this year. I'm going to eat 5 fruits and vegetables a day. It's not about the scale, it's about the health. The health will lead to the scale. And then my other goal for that is attend, and they're on my blog if you ever want to just really be nosy and see all my goals. Because the other thing is publishing your goals actually make you more accountable for them. We're going to talk about that in a second. But the behavior is something you can observe. So in terms of your writing, think about what behavior can you observe every day about your writing. So getting published, remember, is not a good goal. You can't observe that behavior, okay? It has to be something you can observe and do every day. Number 2, this is really important, something you are 100% in control of, okay? So getting published, also not a good goal, is it? Not all about you, is it? Once you send that manuscript off, Agent X does not have the same goal you do that year of getting you published, right? So it has to be something you are in control of, okay? But what would be, so if my goal was getting published and I had finished my novel, what would be a goal? Anybody? Instead of getting an agent, what could be a good goal for me?
Send 5 queries a week or something.
Jessica, very good. Send 5 queries a week. A week, wow. Send 5 Talk about goals. Whoopee. Yes. Give yourself a concrete thing, and in fact, break it down by day. Today, I'm going to research 5 editors or agents or whatever. So yes, sending query letters. So I can't control if they're going to take me on. I can control how many I'm sending, can't I? I can make sure that my query letter is the best thing possible because I know that I have people within Sunshine State Romance Authors who are experts at reading query letters and giving you feedback. Same thing with synopsis. I have things I can control. You are more likely to achieve your goals if you are in charge of the steps along the way. Number 3, does it have a concrete end date and is your progress measurable along the way? Again, like I talked about with the marathon, you have to be able to celebrate your successes. So once you send that query letter to 5 agents, you need to be able to have your glass of wine, right? Or whatever, your chocolate, or whatever it is. You have to be able to celebrate that success along the way, and that is huge, you guys. If you want to be published, you have to learn to be your own cheerleader. Much as we do it for you in here, that's only once a month. And that's all you get, and it's got to kind of last you to the next month, so you've got to find ways to cheer for yourself. All right. So, bad writing goals. We already talked a little bit about this. Get an agent or a publisher, bad goal. Get a contract for my book, bad goal. Increase my reviews on Amazon and Goodreads. That was my goal last year. Bad goal, Dylan. Bad goal. I can't control that. Duh. But what I can do, you'll see in a second, is control maybe the behavior that leads to good reviews and asking for other reviews on Amazon and Goodreads. Be on the New York Times bestselling list. I wish I could control that. I haven't been able to figure that one out yet. But not a good goal. Everybody see that? Does it make sense now? Who had New Year's resolutions that were like, finish a book, or get a contract, or lose weight? Anybody have any of those?
Yeah.
All right, good. So we're going to do new ones now, okay? Today's your day. So you've already seen the bad ones. I'm guilty, as all of you, for creating bad goals. All right, before I'm going to have you write your goals, I'll share with you my goals, just the writing portion. You can see the fitness and the family and the personal and the blah, blah, blah on my blog if you want to. These are just my writing goals. Now remember, there are a lot of things that I wanted to do, and I had to figure out how I made it specific to me that, remember, they had to be those 3 things: behavioral, in control of, concrete end date. Okay, let's see if I did it. First one, write for 45 minutes every weekday until novel number 4 is completed and sent to editor. Okay, is it in my control?
Yes.
Okay, is it concrete?
Yes.
Okay, does it have an end date?
Yes.
No. Okay, good, so that we're good so far. Number 2, attend 1 writer's conference this year. Conferences, that was bad typo. Spell check your PowerPoint. So is that specific?
Yes.
Has a concrete end date by the end of the year, right? And something I can control, because I should be able to get in, right? It's not up to anybody else, pretty much. Read or listen to 52 or more books this year, because you guys, if you're writers and you're not readers, you need to rethink what you're doing. Every writer in here should be a reader all the time, all the time, all the time. That is part of how you fill your toolbox. That is part of how you escape, because if you're writers, you're typically avid readers as well. But it's also your little research. You're internalizing a lot of these good habits from other writers, a lot of these good analogies and metaphors and different stylistic things that they do. That is your research. That is your daily research. Okay, you ought to be reading. And if you don't have time to read, I get it. I have 2 kids. Get over yourself. We're all busy. I listen to books in my car because I'm like the mom taxi. So I'm driving everywhere, so I listen to books in my car. So I get through double books. I usually have a print book that I'm reading, one on my Kindle and one in the car. So I'm usually going through about 3 books at the same time. But that's my research, and that's me time too. That's just plain old fun. So that's really important to me. And reviewing them on Goodreads is also important to me because I want to give back. I want to pay it forward. If I want reviews, I should be giving reviews, yes? Right? All right, hold 2 contests for my readers, one in February, one in October, with the goal of increasing the newsletter subscribers to 200. Notice I didn't say my goal was to increase it. My goal is to hold 2 contests, and I'm going to structure the contest in such a way that it is beneficial for them to be part of my newsletter subscriber or make it attractive in some way, shape, or form to be a newsletter subscriber with me, okay? So as Loretta is always fond of saying, writing the novel is sometimes the easiest part of what you do, and it's definitely the most fun part sometimes of what you do, because I certainly don't like the other half of it, the sales and marketing half. That's tougher for me. That's one of my goals too. So is that something I'm in control of, holding 2 contests?
Yes.
Okay. Is it something that has a deadline?
Yes.
And what's the other one? Deadline, control of? Forgot my own 3rd goal. Deadline, control of, concrete end date. Oh, behavioral, right. Okay, so something that I can do. Okay. Revised my blog website to include reader enhancement experience. And that one's, it's a little more specific with what I have going on. And create 4 webinars and vlogs to enhance reader's experience. So again, that's something that's just more specific of me. But you can kind of see that everything that I have has a specific number that I want to do by a specific date that I want to do it, and there's a plan for how I want to get it done. Okay?
Except for number 5.
Well, there is a plan, but it's much larger. I have a whole webinar plan, but I had to like encapsulize, what I wanted to do. But I've already trained for it, and thanks to Cheryl, and I have some ideas and things like that. So I have a whole plan for it, but that's behind the scenes where I can actually break it down to daily goals. Okay. All right. So guess what you got to do now? You're going to look at a passport, which is super fun. It's like my favorite thing I think I've ever done. I made for you guys a passport for your writing success. How fabulous is that? So there's not enough for everyone. I'm sorry, I didn't expect to have 31 people today. But please take one, share it with your neighbor. It is on the website, so for those of you joining us virtually, it is on the website. And basically, this is a nice little brochure. This is actually, the paper is actually a hold back from one of my corporate projects I did a long time ago, and they had extra paper and they were going to throw it out, and I'm like, no, I'll take it. And 10 years later, I found a use for the globe paper, so there you go. All right, so we have a passport success. And I'll put it online really quick for you guys so you can see what it looks like. All right, so we have our mission statement on the front and the back, but then the real guts of what this is all about is on the 2nd page. Okay? Basic membership goals. I'm going to basically take you through this passport, and I want you to hang on to this. And for those of you that are members that are physically here every single month, if you say, I don't know if I really am going in the right direction, blah, 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 I'm going to say, where are you on your passport? How much have you filled out? What have you done lately? Okay? So it has everything for everybody, whether you're pro, pan, not published at all, anything. The first thing is the basic membership goals. Okay, so I'm taking you through, this is the guts of it right in here. So if you guys want to open it up, it's right in the middle. Basic membership goals. Cheryl already talked about technology. If your computer browser and your Microsoft Word is not industry standard yet, it's not within 2 releases, Cheryl? 2 releases of current? Yeah. You're hog-tying yourself, frankly. If you want this to be a hobby, keep what you got. If you're serious and you want a career, upgrade. I hate to be really that terse about it, but that's just the deal. okay? If you're serious about this, you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in your technology. I don't want to hear any members who say, I can't do this and I can't do that. Talk to the hand because the face ain't listening. If you guys are not up to date, seriously, I don't want to hear it. You have to be up to date, okay? That's no excuse. If this is your career, you must have the tools to be able to communicate with your editor or agent. They do not accept stenopad publications. They just don't, okay? All right, enough said. RWA, we talked a little bit about this before. Sign up for RWA. If you guys are not members of RWA, visitors, those of us that are here visiting, you're missing out, because within RWA there's free benefits to you. As part of being a member of the world's largest fiction writing organization, you have some benefits that are unique to RWA. One of them is My RWA, which is kind of like your own profile, your own gateway to RWA. You can get access to forums, you can take a look at chapter contests and conferences, and some of our members have gotten have won awards through contests and things that they got through RWA. And these are directly sent to your email in digest format. You don't even have to do anything. You just sign up for it, and it's like stupid easy. It's like the easy button, right? So that's totally easy. If you're not signed up for My RWA, you are leaving money on the table, as it were. Get in there on the RWA website. It is not that difficult. It is pretty user
Friendly.
thank you, friendly. User friendly. Get in there, take a look. Sign up for the free classes. People, they're free. They're easy, they're great, they're fantastic. If you've not signed up right, you've taken one. Bonnie? You've taken one. You've taken one, Joyce? I've taken one, you've taken one. They're really good classes, you guys. These are published authors giving their knowledge to you for free. Take advantage of it, okay? Review the website. There's a ton of stuff on the website, you guys. There's editors and agent lists. There's all sorts of tools that you can use in your writer's toolbox that are available for you for free on the RWA website, if you are a member, okay? SSRA, we have free benefits as well. We have our website. If you are not subscribed to our SSRA website, those of you that are members, you are missing out, because we will be putting things on there that are only available on the web, and I'm not the babysitter, I'm the chapter leader. As the chapter leader, I'm telling you, I'm putting stuff on the website. I'm not going to babysit you guys to see if you're checking the website. You all need to be subscribed to that website. It's really easy to do. You go to the front page, you hit subscribe, you put in your email. It takes 5 seconds, okay? Tour our website. And those of you who are visiting, we have the most fantastic website ever, do we not? Our website is fantastic, you guys. There are resources, and there are more resources coming, because we are putting more virtual programs on there, because we are attracting a virtual membership. And that's free for you guys as members. Visit our Yahoo loop. If you're a member of Sunshine State Romance Authors, you have access to our members-only Yahoo loop, where we talk about your problems, we motivate, we coach, we answer questions, we help out. What else do we do? We
Support each other, whether emotionally for life or writing.
Yeah, so it's a nice, nice network, no matter where you are. We have a member, Beverly, that lives in Canada, and she is with us, and she's with us virtually when she's not here. All right, if you're also a member of SSR, you can borrow from our lending library and sharpen your saw and read the query letters and the synopsises and things like that. You can also sign up for a critique partner or a beta reader, which is invaluable. All right, so let's go back up to the top. Are you an RWA Pro? And I'll let you read what that is. It's to serve RWA members that are pursuing publication, but they're waiting for the call. SSRA meeting, that's what you can do to help yourself achieve your goals. Finish your novel, have it beta read, attend the Pro or Pro B meetings, sign up for Prod Your Muse, sign up for the February workshop, write your synopsis. If you don't know how, get help. Have your synopsis read by a published author for feedback. There's plenty of us here, we'd all love to do it. If it's written, we're not going to write it for you. If it's written, we will read it for you, okay? Write your query letter. There's plenty of resources that tell you how to do that within SSRA. Once it's done, have it read by a published author. There's plenty in here that will do that for you, that will give you honest to goodness feedback. Not buttering you up, honest to goodness, here's how you can make this better, here's how you can make the agent look at this feedback, okay? Submit, we talked about that, submit. Create your book pitch, practice it, attend a writer's conference, and pitch your book. If you've done all that, you keep doing all that, you will be pro. Okay, and then you will get your contract. It's not magic, it's mathematics. It's doing the same thing over and over again to you achieve your success. Okay? If you're already at that point and you're moving on, we'll talk about PAN, which is the Published Authors Network within RWA. That's to promote the interests of published romance authors, open channels of communication, blah, blah, blah. It's basically to, not blah, 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 but it's basically to extend your career as a published author, okay? Some goals here. Create your goals for PAN. Hello? You guys all should have goals as well. Post them, and then attend every PAN meeting. Also do all the pro goals as well. Create your website, your blog platform, your writing brand. We're going to talk about all of that this year, so if you come to all of the meetings, you'll be able to check those off very quickly. Even those of you that are not PAN, doesn't matter. The best time to do your writer's platform and create your brand is before the thing is published. I wish I had done a lot of this before my book came out, so the best time you can do that is actually now. Your Facebook author page, another social media, your author profile on Goodreads and Amazon, our promotion workshop in April is going to be fantastic, creating a promotional plan, which we're going to talk about in April, printing your promotional items. I sent a note, another benefit of being in RWA is I sent a note out to all the RWA chapters, and all the writers therein, and I said, hey, we're a new chapter, we're 3 years old, and we have kind of a small bench of published authors, and we really need some examples of fantastic promotional materials. Do you have anything that you can send us? We need about 35 of them to fill. We're going to fill Marketing Done Right goodie bags for that little promotion event in April to teach you how to promote your book. And I've had 10 published authors, some very multi-published, really big authors, that are sending their bookmarks for free, just because they're lovely. And we help each other. We're sister branches, we help each other. And branding materials and promotional items and things like that. So you can get some great ideas. I also contacted a couple of companies who specialize in author promotional items, and they're sending us a whole packet of things for us to be able to share with you guys. So you guys are going to go home after the April workshop knowing what you can do, which is more than what I had. I don't know you, Loretta, or Anna. I had no idea what to do to promote myself before or after my book was published. I kind of floundered along. So we're giving you guys what we didn't have. Okay? So, what do you guys think? Did I give you enough to-dos? If not, I can come up with more. All right. Okay, so guess what? I bet you can guess what we're going to do next. We are going to create your 2014 goals. Because setting goals is the first step to turning the invisible into the visible. Okay? So I'm going to in a minute we're going to turn off our remote viewers, and you guys are going to be able to do this too. But I want you guys to flip over your writer's worksheet that I gave you, and on the back is your goals. And I don't care about your fitness goals. I do, but not here. You can do those elsewhere if you want me to look at them. I'm happy to do so. But I do care about your writing goals. And you don't have to share them with me. Maybe. Members, that doesn't apply to you. I'm seeing all of your goals. I'm not kidding. I want to see all of your goals. I want to see your goals. I want you to take the next 8 minutes. And after this, it's going to go very quick. There's only a few more slides. So this is really why you're here. Okay? I want you to take the next, we're going to spend about 8 minutes, maybe a little less, because we'll see how fast writers you are. And I want you to create some goals for yourself. Think about what you wrote on the other side, what your one thing was, your one weakness. Make sure one of your goals is about your weakness, okay? Make sure all of your goals have a tangible feel to you, that you want to do them, because guess what? I can't make you do it. I know where I want each of you to be this year. Those of you that are not pro, guess where I want you to be? Very, very soon. Pro. Those of you that are not PAN, guess where I want you to be? Very, very soon. Is PAN. And those of you like Loretta, I want you to have a movie contract.
Me too.
But I have goals for each of you, because guess what? Our chapter is better if all of you guys are better, right? We as a chapter grow and are fantastic because each of our members are fantastic. Okay, so I want it for you just as badly as you want it for yourself. So, the next 8 minutes are yours. I want you to do some soul searching. Let me know if you have questions. I'll be right back. To do your goals, to give yourself time to do your goals, you have to prioritize your time. A lot of you guys had on your sheets that you wanted to write for a certain amount of time per day, which I think is fantastic. Now, the tools to do that, you have to prioritize your time. Everybody's given the same amount of time per day. If you have a kitchen timer, everybody has a kitchen timer, timer on their stove, timer on your cell phone. I have a kitchen timer app that I downloaded on my cell phone. It's actually called Kitchen Timer. It crows like a rooster when my time is up. And my rear end does not leave that seat. Remember, my goal was 45 minutes during the weekday. My rear end does not leave that seat until 45 minutes are up. So I make sure I go to the bathroom first, and then I sit down for 45 minutes. And no matter and I don't have the internet on. I click off, my Chrome is closed out, everything's closed out. The only thing in front of me is my work in progress. And for 45 minutes, even if all I do is just stare there and wonder what I'm going to do, my rear end does not leave that chair until my timer goes off on my cell phone. Okay? That's really important, you guys. You've got to do it every day. Only you can make that commitment every day. Prioritize your time. You guys, a lot of you had a lot of goals written on your paper. And you can do it all, but you've got to prioritize what you're going to do first. We can do anything, but we can't do everything, at least not at the same time. So think of your priorities, not in terms of what activities you do, but when you do them. Timing is everything, okay? So you need to know yourself as a writer. Are you better writing in the morning? Are you a night owl? Are you better at night? Right? That's important to know. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Some of us, my kids go to school, that's the time I have. That's it. That's all I've got. Okay? If it doesn't happen then, if the muse doesn't visit, there's no, oh well, the muse didn't visit that day. The muse must visit. That's the only time I have. We've trained her very well. That's the only time she's got, is right there. Okay? You hold the keys to your success in 2014. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to have every one of you come up here, and you're going to write your goals on the whiteboard. Just one. I want you to pick one. Your most audacious, bodacious, stomach-clenching, oh my gosh, can I do this goal? I want it on the board for God and everybody to see. Okay? Everybody's just going up there, and guess what I'm going to do afterwards? I'm going to take a picture of that goal. Guess what I'm going to do with said picture? I'm going to hold you guys accountable to that goal. We're going to revisit this in the middle of the year. We're going to revisit this at the end of the year, because there's no greater thing than peer pressure, positive peer pressure. And it holds you accountable. This is my way of helping you guys help yourself. You don't want to look me in the face in 6 months and say, I haven't done anything on this yet, Dylan, but I had this, this, and this going on. Talk to the hand that makes things move. You have to do something. You're here for a reason. You're here because you feel passionately about what you want to do, right? Everybody wants to be published. Every one of you can be published. Every one of you can be multi-published. Every one of you can have a movie contract. Okay? It's not magic, it's mathematics, right? You are responsible for starting every day. Not me, not your husband, not anybody else, or your wife, or my two men in here. You are responsible for starting every day. If you do nothing else, you start yourself every day. That is an accomplishment. Sit down, start writing, do it every day. And if you can't, or whatever your goals say, if it's during the weekday, because my weekends are for my kids, I don't write on the weekends. Everybody has a different place in their life, and I feel that my weekends are for my kids. But you're responsible for starting every day, and every Monday I'm responsible for sitting down and starting my goals every day and for writing it down every day, okay? Lose the excuses. We all have 24 hours in a day. Get over yourself. As I went around the room, there wasn't a single person who said, well, I have trouble with meals, or not to pick on anybody, but I have trouble with meals, or I have trouble with, there's my kids, or I just don't, my husband doesn't leave me a lot of time, or I have this commitment, or I have that commitment. Get over yourself. I'm trying to be very kind when I tell you this, but you need to get over yourself. We all have 24 hours in a day. We can all do it. You can do it. You just have to make it a priority. Maybe you have to get up a little earlier. Maybe you get up 25 minutes earlier. Okay, and you right before you take that shower in the morning. Maybe you stay up a little bit later. Maybe you give up TV. Not that. Maybe you do. How deeply do you want it? Get over yourself. You can find time. I don't want to hear excuses. I have 2 children. I have 3 published books. I am very, very busy. Loretta is very, very busy. Anna is very, very busy. Jessica is very, very busy. Every published author, Barry is very, very busy. Velocity, every published author in this room, everyone's very busy. We all have things we have to do. Get over yourself, okay? Make it happen. Understand you're going to fall down. You are. If you're expecting perfection of yourself, you are setting yourself up for failure. There are going to be days, weeks, maybe even a month where you fall down and you scrub your knee, okay? It happens. Get up, get over it, and move on. Every day, you are responsible for starting. If you fall down, if life happens, and you're not able to get over it, and something happens and it derails your plans for that day, that week, that whatever, every day is a new day, okay? Every day, you have the opportunity to start again. Right? That's why they call it the present, because it is a gift. Every day is a gift, all right? Say no to what's not on your yes list for goals. This is really important for me. It's actually one of my goals. If you go to my blog, my last goal is to learn to say no. I'm really bad at it. And I tend to say yes a lot, and I tend to place a lot of internal guilt on myself for things I think I should be doing, and whatever cape I think should be fluttering behind me or whatever. I have a really hard time with that. Saying no is really hard for me. It's an important skill to have, and knowing what your goals are and knowing that they are your goals and that you've developed all, and I have them for all aspects of my life, anything that does not fit into those goals is a no for me now. And I've already used it. It was really liberating. Can you do this for me, Dylan? No, I can't. I'm really sorry. I have a deadline and I'm really sorry. I can't do that for you. Okay? So, the right time to write is now. Is right now. Right now. You do not need to fill your toolbox. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to know every fabulous metaphor there is. Your toolbox is never going to be full. It's not. Ever. So the right time to write is right now. Your book will never feel finished. Somebody just today, yes. Yeah. I don't think it's finished. It's never going to be finished. I promise. There's a quote that I read once that said that my novel is never finished. I just have to decide which draft is it's just what I submitted as the last draft. And it's so true. And I am so guilty of that, trust me. So guilty of that, especially when it's deadlines and I'm looking at that last galley and, oh, Jesus, is there anything else I could do to make this better? I just don't feel it's perfect yet. I have to, what is that quote? The enemy of good is better. And that is so true, you guys. The enemy of good is better, okay? You are going to not love yourself if you are always looking to be perfect, because it's never going to happen. And your first novel does not have to be the grand, earth-shaking novel that you think it needs to be, okay? The first novel is your first novel. Yay, you, okay? My first novel did not change the world. Despite the Ghost was not a world earth-shattering event. It was my first novel, and it was so amazing, you guys. And I want you to feel that. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Do it anyway. I'm gonna leave you with, if you are online visitors and RWA members, please, I do invite you. It's only $20 to join Sunshine State Romance Authors, and you can enjoy this members-only content every month. This is the only freebie that we're actually putting on there on the visitors side. The other stuff you do have to be a member to get. And this is my favorite quote. Those of you who know me know that my favorite quote is, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." Okay? So, I want you guys all to be successful. Do not move from your seats. I'm going to let you guys go that are virtual online. If you do join, I want to see your goals emailed to me. You'll see my website is on, or my email address is on the web. And we'll get with you separately, those virtual members. Those of you sitting in this room are not allowed to leave until you write your goal on the whiteboard. If you're not members, I won't hold you accountable to it, but I would like to see them. Members, you cannot leave until your most audacious goal is written on the whiteboard. Did you guys have fun today? Yeah.